Hey everyone, Jared here with ToneandTitan.com, and this is going to be an upper body workout that you can do at home. This is a perfect workout for beginners. We're going to run through about 8 different exercises, doing some 40-20 intervals. That's a 40-second high intensity work period, a 20-second rest or active recovery interval period. You don't necessarily need some equipment for this one, but I'm going to show you some versions of these exercises that can be enhanced as you throw some weights into the mix. Our first exercise, let's go ahead and get into it with some rows with some triceps extensions. And so your standing feet are about shoulder width apart, hinging forward at your hips. Keep your back nice and straight. You perform a row by pulling your elbows back behind you, and then the triceps extension comes as you extend your arms out straight. Now again, we'll be doing a 40-second high interval of this, so if that is your skill level right there, if that's your experience level, so feel free not to add any weights. If you feel like you need something a little heavier, if you feel like you could, if that's not quite challenging enough for you, go ahead and pick up some light dumbbells, some water bottles, whatever you've got around the house to add some resistance to it. All right, so there was our 40-second high interval period. We're going to now do a 20-second low interval period. For your low intervals, we're not just going to stand around idly and not really do anything. I like to keep it active. We're going to do kind of an active low interval. I'm showing you a boxer shuffle here. Again, we'll do that for about a 20-second count. And then let's get into our next exercise. Is going to be some arm circles with some side steps. And so your arms come straight out to the sides, and then you rotate your shoulders through these small circles. It's going to kick on a lot of shoulders, a lot of back and chest. But then why just stop there? Why not kick in some side steps while we're at it? And so you're going to step to the right while you're circling your arms, and then step to the left while you're circling your arms as well. That was the beginner version of the exercise. If you feel like you need a little bit higher intensity, feel free to take those side steps and drop them into a side lunge or even kind of a wide squat. What we're trying to do here is we're going to kick on some hip groups with this. We're kicking on the glute med and the glute min, those muscles on the side of your hips, kicking on the thighs, the quads, kicking on the butt as we come up out of the squat. Just a way that we can make that upper body exercise even more effective as far as burning calories is concerned. And who doesn't want that, right? Okay, and so here's our 20-second low intensity period. So maybe you're marching in place, maybe you're doing a boxer shuffle like I'm doing, whatever you can do to just keep your heart rate up. Our next exercise is going to be some alternating T planks. So you'll see here I'm down on my right hand and on the outside of my right foot in a tall plank position, and then I'm going to roll over onto my left hand and onto the outside of my left foot in that tall or that high kind of side plank position again. And then we're going to alternate that back and forth, back and forth. Now if you need a little bit higher intensity version of this exercise, what I like to do is throw a push-up in the middle of it. And so now you'll see, so here I am on the right side plank, throw a push-up when you're rolling over onto the left side plank. Just a way that we can kick on those upper body muscles even a little bit more. Again, if that's too advanced for you, feel free to go back to just the simple alternating T plank version of that. Try to push yourself, try to do as much as you can with what you've got. Try to, do a little bit better than maybe you think that you can, and I know that great things can happen. I know that you'll get the results that you're after. Okay, here we go. We've got that boxer shuffle low interval period again, and then we're going to get into our next exercise is a crab walk dip. So get down into a crab walk position. I'm seated here. I'm going to pop up onto my hands. So right now I'm just on my hands and on my feet, and then what I'm going to do is kind of lift your butt up as high as you can off of the floor. Bend your elbows to drop down into this crab walk dip position. This is a great exercise. Works those triceps, those muscles on the back of your arms. Also works a lot of chest. Also works a lot of core with that in that crab walk position. If you need a little bit higher intensity exercise, what you're going to do is you're going to find, I've got a bench here. You can find a couch, a table, a chair, a bed, anything that you can kind of sit to the edge of like I'm doing here, and then do those full bench dips with that. So drop as low as you can. Try to get your elbow down to about 90 degrees, and then squeeze that muscle, that triceps muscle in the back of your arm to return to the full upright position. All right, so there's our 40-second high interval. Here's our 20-second low interval. The next one that we're going to get into is going to be a reclined alternating clap. And so to get into the reclined position, I'm going to sit down on the ground, knees slightly bent, and then kind of reclining at my torso. Arms are straight out in front of me, and then I'm just going to alternate clapping or alternate rotating a hand back behind me and then clapping out in front. Both hands in front. There's my right hand back behind me as far as I can go. Clap. Left hand back behind me as far as I can go, and clap. Now if you need a little bit higher intensity of this, what I'm doing here is I'm kicking up the speed. You'll notice that I also reclined more here. And so just a way that we can can kick on those core muscles even a little bit more. We're working a lot of that rectus abdominis muscle with this one in that reclined position, but then we kick on the rotation motion, and we're actually kicking on a lot of the oblique muscles, internal, external, oblique, both right and left, as we're alternating those reclined claps back and forth. All right, so you guys are doing great. So there's your 40-second high period. Here's our 20-second low period. Again, maybe you're doing some jumping jacks. Jump rope is another good option. Whatever you can do to stay active, whatever you can do to keep the heart rate up. Our next exercise is going to be a curl, press, and squat. And so here's my curl, here's my press, and there's my squat, just right in that order. And so biceps curl, focus on contracting the biceps as you do the curl. Overhead press, we're doing a lot of shoulders and a lot of triceps with that one. And then I want you to keep your hands over your head as we do basically an overhead squat to finish. If you need a little bit higher intensity, again, I'm going to pick up my dumbbells. So there's my curl, press, and squat, and then reverse that order coming back down. Curl, press, squat, and then we're going to come out of the press and out of the curl. Great exercise. We're working a ton of biceps. We're working a ton of shoulders and triceps with this one. Again, if you don't necessarily have the free weights around your house, some water bottles work great. Some books work great. I mean, get creative. Some soup cans, some larger cans of food, whatever you got lying around are going to work great to add some resistance to that. Not necessary, but definitely a way to make it a little harder if your skill level allows for that. All right, so here we go. The next exercise we're going to do is a bird dog push-up. So when we get down into that bird dog position, I'm down in a modified push-up position. And then we're going to do the push-up, and then you'll see that my right arm reaches in front of me while my left leg kicks straight back. I do a push-up, and then we're going to alternate the other way. And so here we go. So, and then if you need a little bit higher intensity version of this, that full push-up is the way to go. This one is definitely a great exercise, great burner, takes a lot of core control, takes a lot of arm strength to do this one. So here's your push-up. There's my left arm, right leg lifting up. There's another push-up. There's my right arm, left leg lifting up. Okay, that's a great exercise. Great way that you can kick on a lot of the chest and a lot of the triceps, a lot of great upper body muscles with that one as you alternate, kind of lifting those legs back behind you as well. We're working glutes there, we're working hamstrings, we're working even that lower back, some of those muscles to stabilize through that position. All right, here we go. So this is our last exercise in this. Our first set is going to be a walk down push-up. And so you're going to start in the start just upright and then hinge forward at your hips, bend your knees a little bit till your hands get down to the ground. Walk out all the way as far as you can go, and then what you'll do is you'll drop those knees down into a modified push-up position. Okay, so walk all the way out, perform the push-up, walk the knees all the way back, and up you go. If you need a little bit higher intensity version of that, we're going to take the modified version of the push-up away and just do a full walk down push-up. And so you'll see here now that my knees don't actually come in contact with the ground throughout that whole motion. So hinge forward, walk all the way out, perform the push-up, and walk all the way back to upright. All right, so there's our 40-second high period. We're going to do that 20-second low period now. Another good option here would be even to just kind of walk around the room. Maybe you go walk up, or you walk up and down the stairs. All are great options for that low intensity interval period. Hey, you made it. So there's our first set. What we're going to do now is take 60 seconds, grab a drink of water, take a quick break, and then meet me back here for set number 2. All right, so welcome back. So again, we're working our way through a 25-minute upper body workout. It's an interval workout. We're doing 40 high, 20 low. Simple exercises you can do at home. Lots of body weight exercises. Some great work going on here. Hope you liked that first set. Let's go ahead and get ready for round number 2. We'll get things started with our rows with our triceps extensions. And so again, hinging forward at your hips, not rounding forward at your back. You're focusing on your back muscles, really trying to squeeze your shoulder blades together up at the top of that row, and then you're really focusing on squeezing your triceps as you extend your arms out back behind you. So there's your 20-second demonstration of the beginner version of this exercise. Here comes your 20-second demonstration of a little bit more advanced version of this. We're going to just pick up some weights, and so you'll see that I've got some dumbbells, but whatever resistance you've got around the house is going to work just great to kick that exercise up to that next intensity. And then we're just, we're rowing, and then we're performing that triceps extension against some resistance versus just the body weight exercise. And so again, whatever version you feel the most comfortable with, try to push yourself, try to do as much as you can. Maybe if the arms were too easy, maybe you pick up some light weights. If the light weights were too easy, find something that's going to offer a little bit more more resistance. The important part is that you challenge yourself. Next, we're going to do the arm circles with the side steps. So arms go straight out to the side, and then we're going to rotate through the shoulders to work those upper body muscles. But then why just stop there when we can kick on some of the lower body as well? And so we're just alternating side step to the right, side step to the left, back and forth while performing those arm circles. Now again, if you need a little bit higher intensity version of this exercise, we're going to drop into some side lunges or even kind of some wide squats as we go kind of side to side, all the while those arms are still performing those arm circles out to the side. So we're working a lot of the upper body, we're working a lot of the lower body. Again, the glute med, glute min groups there, the thighs with that one. It's just a great way that you can kick that calorie burn up another level. So you could just do arm circles, but we're going to actually kick on the lower body work as well, just to burn a few more calories to get the heart rate up a little bit higher while we're doing that. So there's our 20-second low interval period. Now we're going to get into those alternating T-planks. So here I am on my right hand and on the outside of my right foot. Start with that left hand up towards the ceiling, and then I'm going to roll over into that same position on the left side. So right hand outside of the right foot, left hand up, and then roll straight over. So now that right hand's up as I'm on my left hand and on the outside of my left foot. Now if that's not hard enough for you, go ahead and add that push-up in. And so between each of the alternating T-plank, we're going to add that push-up. And so this is again just one of my favorite exercises. Works just a ton of core muscles. We're working a ton of shoulder stabilizers as you're up in that tall side plank position. And then as you drop down into the push-up, we're doing a lot of chest and triceps if that's the way that you want to go with that. All right, hey, good job, you guys. So there's your 40-second high interval period. Here's our 20-second low interval period. Some more good options. You know, maybe you go up and down the stairs. Maybe you walk around the room. Maybe you march in place. All of those are going to be good ideas. Again, the idea is to keep the blood flowing and the heart rate up. Next, we've got the crab walk dips. And so you're going to get down into that crab walk position, up on your hands and on your feet. And then you're just going to slightly bend your elbows as much as you can until your butt just touches the floor. And then extend through your elbows to come all the way back up straight, focusing on squeezing those muscles in the back of your arms, those triceps muscles. Now, if you need a little bit higher intensity version of this one, what you're going to do is get onto, a chair, a table, bed, couch, all work well. And then you're going to drop your butt off of the front of it and then lower yourself down as low as you can go until the elbows get to about 90 degrees is what I typically tell people. And then as you extend out straight, you're focusing on squeezing those triceps throughout that whole motion. So focusing on that muscle on the back of your arms throughout that whole motion. All right, so there's our 40-second high interval. We're going to follow that up here with our 20-second low interval. And so again, the boxer shuffle is what I'm doing. My space is a little bit limited, and so work with whatever you've got. All right, and so that next one that we're going to be doing is going to be some reclined alternating claps. And so I'm down in kind of this reclined seated position. Again, the further that you lean back at your hips, the more we're actually going to kick on some core with this. Arms are straight out in front, and then I'm going to rotate my right arm. Here we go, all the way back. Clap in the front, rotate that left arm all the way back, clap in the front. Again, here we go. You need the higher intensity. I'm going to lean further back. That's going to kick on a lot more of the core muscles. We're working a lot of the rectus, a lot of the obliques with this one. And then we're also working a lot of the chest as we're coming up out of the clap, up out of that reach from back behind. We're working a lot of the back and shoulder muscles as we perform that reach back behind. And so there's our 40-second high period. Again, whatever exercise you feel comfortable with, try to push yourself with that one. Try to do as much as you can, whatever your experience and skill level allows you to do. Okay, so here's our 20-second low intensity period. We're going to get into our next exercise. Is going to be the curl, press, and squat. And so again, to do this one, so biceps curl, overhead press, and then down into an overhead squat, and then reverse those three motions to get back down out of it. Focus on the biceps during the biceps curl, the shoulders, kind of the anterior deltoid, and the triceps as you're squeezing up and over your head, and then you're going to hold that overhead position while performing that overhead squat. The squat you're going to do, so keep your weight back on your heels, drop your butt straight down, try to keep your back straight, keep your chest back and your head up as you do that overhead squat. Again, just a way that we can maximize our calorie burn with that one. And so we're doing a ton of upper body work. Why just stop there when we can actually kick on some lower body work as well? And again, just to kind of burn a few more calories. We've got a few more muscles active with that one. All right, so there's our 40-second high period. Here's our 20-second low period. The next one that we're going to get into are going to be the bird dog push-ups. And so we're going to get down into that modified push-up position. So I'm on my knees and I'm on my hands, and so my body's straight, looking for a straight line. Shoulders, hips, knees are nice and straight. And then you're going to drop down into a push-up, and then at the top of the push-up you're going to do that bird dog. So the bird dog is again alternating. So left arm forward, right leg back, push-up, and now we're going to go right arm forward, left leg back in that position. The higher intensity version of this is going to be the full push-up position. So get your knees up off of the ground from the modified position, and then we're still doing the same alternating arm and leg bird dog position up at the top. This is a great exercise, just works so much core muscles as you're working to stabilize. And then we also got kind of that reciprocal muscle activation, meaning left arm, right leg are active with that. It's just a great exercise, kicks on a ton of muscles, both upper body, lower body, and core, and just super effective at working a lot of areas in not a lot of time. And so again, this is only a 25-minute workout. We want to maximize it. We want to get as much in as we can with the time that we've got. Okay, so the last exercise in this, our second set, is going to be the walk down push-ups. And so you're going to start standing upright, bend forward at the hips, bend forward at the knees, walk your hands all the way out, drop down to your knees, and then do a modified push-up, walk all the way back with your hands, and then stand all the way back upright. Again, that's what the modified walk down push-up looks like. If you need a little bit higher intensity, a little bit more advanced version of that one, now all of a sudden just don't let your knees touch down between each rep or during each rep. And so walk all the way out into the tall plank position, throw the push-up in there, and then walk all the way back. Again, a ton of arm muscles active with this one, a ton of chest and shoulder muscles as you're working to stabilize through kind of that crawling motion out to the tall plank. And there it is. So there's our 40-second high period. We're going to follow that up with our 20-second low interval period. And hey, I've got great news. You guys are 2/3 of the way done with this one. And so just like we did last time, I want you to take a quick 60-second break, grab a drink of water, catch your breath for a second, and then join me back here for set number 3. Alright, and welcome back for our third and final set in this at-home upper body workout. Hope you guys are feeling it. We've only got 8 more exercises and 8 more minutes to go. Let's go ahead and we'll get started with that first exercise, the rows with the triceps extensions. So again, hinge forward at your hips. Don't necessarily round forward at your back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together to bring your elbows up behind you. Now squeeze the triceps, that muscle in the back of your arm, to extend your wrists and hands out straight back behind you. Looks just like that. We're working a ton of back muscles with this. We're also kicking on the rear shoulder muscles. We're also working on the posterior, on the back of the arm, to kick those triceps on. Now, if you need a little bit higher intensity version of this, dumbbells are a great option. So again, squeezing through the row and then pressing through the triceps back into that triceps extension. Okay, very nice. So there's our 40-second high interval. Again, pick whichever version of that exercise meets your needs, and then we'll get into our 20-second low interval. And so again, maybe we're doing some jumping jacks here, maybe we're walking up and down the stairs, even marching in place, walking around the room. All are great options for the 20-second low interval here. The next exercise we're going to get into are the arm circles with the side steps. And so again, my arms are straight out to my sides, and I'm taking my shoulders through these arm circles, and then I'm alternating stepping left and then stepping back to the right. And so a great exercise, kicks on a lot of shoulders, chest and back with this one, and then we're kicking things up a notch by doing the side steps, working on some lower body as well. If you need a little bit higher intensity, we're going to drop down lower into a squat. So now we're even doing kind of a side lunge motion as opposed to just the simple side step motion. It works a lot more of those glute groups, the glute med, the glute min, and then we're also kicking on the thighs and the quads with this one. Okay, looking good, you guys. And so here we go. I know that you guys are getting tired. I know this is our third round, but keep working hard. I know that you can do it. I know that we can get through it. We've only got about 10 seconds left in this, our low intensity interval period. Again, we're keeping it active, keep the heart rate up. It's not a very long workout, so we're trying to burn as many calories as we can during the time that we've got. We're going to get into the next exercise, is going to be the alternating T-plank. And so I'm up on my right hand and on the outside of my right foot, and then I'm going to roll over into the tall plank position, and then finally roll all the way over onto my left hand and onto the outside of my left foot. Looks just like that. So again, ton of core muscles going on with this, also a ton of shoulder stabilizer muscles with this one. Now here we go. If you need a little bit higher intensity, we're going to drop down into a push-up between each of the alternating T position. And so pick the one that works harder, that works the best for you. If just the simple alternating T planks is too easy, but the push-ups is too difficult, you can also throw a modified push-up into the middle of that mix as well. Works great to, again, just kick on the chest, kick on the triceps muscles with that push-up motion. Okay, so there you go. So there's our 40-second high interval. Our 20-second low interval is just about done. We've got about 3 seconds left, and then we'll get into our next exercise, is the crab walk dips. And so you're down on your hands and on your feet. Try to lift your hips up off of the ground as high as you can, and then you bend your elbows until your butt just touches the ground, and then press through your elbows, press through your triceps, the muscle on the back of your arm, to return to that upright, that tall position, really focusing on squeezing those triceps throughout that motion. Now, if that's too easy, if you need something a little bit more difficult, feel free to grab, again, the edge of a table, a chair, a couch, a bed, whatever you've got around the house that will allow you to kind of do this full bench dip position. And so, again, I'm dropping my butt down until my elbows get to about 90 degrees. Another word of advice on this one: the further away from you that your feet are, the more it works your triceps, the more weight that it puts through your upper body, through your triceps. And so maybe you keep your feet kind of close to you is going to be a little bit easier than, say, if my feet were all the way extended out straight, or if my legs were extended all the way out straight. All right, so you guys looking good. So the next one that we're going to do is those reclined alternating claps. And so again, I'm seated in this kind of reclined position, and then I'm going to alternate rotating. Here's my left arm all the way back behind me and clap. Here's my right arm all the way back behind me and clap in front again. And so again, if you need a little bit higher intensity version of this exercise, lean back a little further at your core, kicks on a lot more of those core muscles a lot more effectively, and then we're going to kick up the speed in our alternating claps. And so I still want you to try to reach around behind you just as far as you can go, and then clap out in front. And so a great exercise. Again, we're working a lot of the chest and the shoulders with this one. We're also kicking on those core muscles, kind of more of a bang for our buck as we work through the core to do those reclined alternating claps. You guys are looking strong. I like it. And so the next one that we're going to get into following this, our 20-second active rest recovery period, is going to be our curl, press, and squat. And so to do that, so here's the biceps curl, focusing on squeezing the biceps, those muscles in the front of your arms. The overhead press comes from the shoulders and from the triceps, and then you're going to stay in that overhead press position, so arms are both extended out over your head as you drop down into an overhead squat. And so during the squat, again, the weight is back on my heels, my knees are right over my toes, my back is straight, and my chest is high. Now, if that's too easy, so grab some resistance is a way that we can kick this into a higher level. Another way you can try to do it is to drop lower into a squat. Maybe you go even faster with the exercise. Again, going faster with any of these is just going to give you more reps per given unit of time. The faster you go, you're going to get in more reps during that 40-second time period than the slower version. Okay, so there you go. So there's your 40-second high intensity period. Here's our 20-second active rest, active recovery period. Maybe you're doing a boxer shuffle with me. It might be some jump rope, might be some jumping jacks, whatever you're doing to keep your heart rate up and keep your body active. The next thing we're going to get into are those modified bird dog push-ups. And so I'm on my knees and down into that modified push-up position, push down into the push-up, and then extend your left arm straight out in front of you, your right leg straight back behind you, and then you're going to alternate with the right arm straight out in front and the left leg straight back behind. And so again, we're working a ton of core muscles with this. Bird dogs is something that I give to patients who have low back pain all the time. Really a great exercise as far as just kicking on a lot of the little stabilizer muscles in the spine. The next higher intensity version of this would be, again, the full push-up, and then between each set we're still doing that bird dog alternating arm and leg out, arm out in front of you, leg back behind you. Okay, so there you go. So there's our 40-second high interval. Here's our 20-second low interval. You guys are doing great. I know you're feeling it. I know you're tired, but we've just got a couple more exercises. In fact, we've just got one more more exercise to go. It's going to be the walk down push-ups. And so hinge forward at the hips, bend at the knees till your feet come in contact with the ground. Walk your hands all the way out in front of you into that tall plank position. From the tall plank position, you're going to drop down onto your knees to perform a modified push-up. And so this one, it looks pretty simple. The idea is pretty simple, but to actually walk all the way out on your hands and then to do that push-up and then walk all the way back for 40 seconds, this one actually becomes quite a good exercise. Again, we're working a ton of chest, we're working a ton of the tricep muscles, we're working a lot of the shoulders as they kind of stabilize to walk out into that tall plank position. Looks just like that. And I've got great news. So there, with that last rep is our 40-second high intensity period. And again, this is our third set, so that's our last rep in this workout. We just got to follow that up with a 20-second active rest, active recovery period. Okay, you guys, so this has been a 25-minute arm workout that you can do at home. No equipment required on this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and leave the video a thumbs up. That means a lot to me. Also a great opportunity to subscribe to Tone and Tighten if you haven't done so already. That way you never miss a workout in the future. So be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. And until next time, we'll see you right back here on Tone and Tighten.